Wow. Successful career thoughts. Your efforts are like those arrows of which one or two are sure to hit the target. Your work. Do important jobs now before they become urgent. Work is the best remedy for all else. Start somewhere. Focus on making things better, not bigger. Every stone can be a stepping stone. Good work done little by little becomes a great work. Handsome. Handsome is that handsome does. Make haste slowly, good and quickly seldom meet. People forget how fast you did a job, but they remember how well you did it. Never put off till tomorrow what you can do today. Express career. Beautiful. Do what Do not wait for an extraordinary circumstance to do good actions. Try to use ordinary situations. Geography is about maps. Biography is about chaps. Biography is the most universally pleasant and profitable of all readings. There's a great deal of difference between the eager man who wants to read a book and the tired man who wants a book to read. Each one of us cannot do great things, but surely each one of us can do small things greatly. The people who make haste are usually saving minutes after having wasted hours. Take the decision. If it is right, well and good, and if it is wrong, you will find out soon enough. Working together does not only bring out the best in all of us, it brings out the best in each of us. A man rarely succeeds at anything unless he has fun doing it. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Pray as if everything depended on God and work as if everything depended on you. Beautiful. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, rest if you must, but don't you quit. The smallest good deed is better than a grandest good intention. If you want happiness for a lifetime, learn to love what you do. The tree is known by its fruit. It is no right way to do something wrong. Every stone can be a stepping stone. Even if you are on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. When you have a number of disagreeable duties to perform, always do the worst disagreeable first. If at first you don't succeed, you're running about average. One small deed accomplishes more than 1,000 words. You can't do things differently until you see things differently. No person can know everything, as birds drink water in a pond but cannot empty it out. When you are number 2 or 3, try harder, and when you are number 1, try even harder. A good deed is one that brings a smile of joy to a face of another. We judge ourselves by what we feel capable of doing, while others judge us by what we have already done. Long sentences in a short composition are like large rooms in a large little house. Being ignorant is not so much a shame as being unwilling to learn to do things the right way. Learn to like the things that need to be done. Start by doing what is necessary, then what is possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. The average person puts up only 25% of his energy and ability into his work. The world takes off its hat to those who put in more than 50% of their capacity and stands on its head for those few and far between whose soul would devote 100%. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we are ready to put our 100% devote. Yes, we will. Together we can do it all. Fabulous. Everyone has a will to win, but very few have the will to prepare to win. All of us cannot do great things, but each of us can do small things greatly. If it feels good, do it. Nothing great is ever achieved without enthusiasm. It is hard to apologize, to avoid mistakes, to keep out of a rut, to begin all over again, to make the best of all the things, to think first and act afterward, to keep on keeping on, to admit error, to take advice, but it pays. The best preparation for tomorrow is to do today what's superbly well. What is work and what is not work are questions that perplex the wisest of man. Work consists of whatever a body is obliged to do, and play consists of whatever a body is not obliged to do. God grant that I may always desire more than I can accomplish. Work is more fun than fun. That's so true. Work is more fun than fun. It is more fun to be overworked than to be underworked. The best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up and get started. Take the brisk 30-minute walk each day. It is one of the healthiest things you can do for yourself. Knowledge without action is like snow on a hot stove. No bees, no honey, no work, no money. Plan your work, work your plan. Going in the extra mile puts you miles ahead of your competition. Education is the ability to make life situations. They also serve who only stand and wait. A good work is the best of friends, the same today and forever. Never despair, but if you do work and despair, he who begins many things finishes nothing. Great works are performed not by strength but by perseverance. Perfection consists not in doing extraordinary things but in doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. Always do right things. This will gratify some people and astonish the rest. The first aim of every individual is to grow and march forward. Very nice. March forward. Your goals. Our aim in life is not to get ahead of others, but to get ahead of ourselves, to break our own records, to outstrip our yesterday by our today. If you run after two hares, you catch neither. Dare to dream, dare to try, dare to fail, fall and fall, dare to rise again and succeed. Where there is a will, there is a way. Don't aim to kill two birds with one stone, try for three. The man who goes alone can start today, but he who travels with another must wait till the other is ready. To be what we are and to become what we are capable of becoming is the only end of life. Aim at perfection in everything, though in most things it is unattained. If you have not sowed seed at the proper time, you cannot reap a harvest time. Dare to dream, dare to try, dare to fail and fall, dare to rise again and succeed. Goals are made vain. We coordinate our efforts with those of others. To keep a lamp burning, we have to keep putting oil in it. You must have goals, but the goals should be achievable. We must have long-range goals to keep from being frustrated by short-range failures. Don't be afraid to make a big step if one is indicated. You can't cross a chasm in two small jumps. You can have the best seeds in the world, but if your seed bed is not prepared properly, germination will not take place. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. On the journey of life's highway, keep your eyes upon the goals. Focus on the donut, not upon the hole. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goal. Make no little plans. They have no magic to stir men's blood. Make big plans, aim high and hope and work. Today you are ruining the time. Tomorrow the time will ruin you. Tick, 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 tick. Manage your time as you manage your money, your time. Beautiful. Procrastination is a thief of time. It kills development. One of those days is none of those days. Today is the day to start a big job. The full use of today is the best preparation of tomorrow. Manage your time as you manage your money. A good day's work begins with a good night's rest. The day dawns only to those who are awake. Wise men do not talk to kill time. They talk to save time. Leisure is the time for doing something useful. The shortest way to do many things is to do only one thing at a time. One of these days is none of those days. Today is the day to start the big job. The calendar is simply a reminder that our days are numbered. Busy people don't like to spend 5 minutes for something that should take one. Anyone can live by working from 9 to 6, but success is achieved by working from 9 to 9. Napoleon was an early riser, and hours less sleep per day would add 5 years to your working life. One today is worth two tomorrows. Punctuality is a sign of great men. Time takes no holiday. At every thread of gold is valuable, so is every moment of time. Well-arranged time is the surest way of a well-arranged mind. The future is now. I ruined time. Now time is ruining me. Let not the mistakes of yesterday, not the fear of tomorrow spoil the way. Anyone can live by working from 9 to 6, but success is achieved by working from 9 to 10. Tick, 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 work. It is a good rule to be early so that if you are late, you will be on time. Be willing to spend today for tomorrow's great work. Fewer hours, none of us waste half our time. Time is always passing and it never returns. A day to come seems longer than a year that's gone. It is not half as important to burn the midnight oil as it is to be awake in the daytime. I like to work for half a day. I don't care if it is the first half, 12 hours, or the second 12 hours. Your intelligence. Perseverance is not a long race. It comprises many of the short races, one after another.
का काम किस रहेगा?
Oh, bala. Your intelligence. It is better to know some of the questions than all the answers. You all learn more about the road by traveling it than by consulting all the maps in the world. Abuse, if you slighten, will gradually die away, but if you show yourself irritated, you will be thought to deserve it. Confession of errors is like a broom that sweeps away the dust and leaves the surface cleaner than before. Never was anything great achieved without danger. The better part of the valor is discretion when errors errs so long as he strives. All rising to a great place is by a winding star. Judge not that ye not be not just. The used key is always bright. The memory strengthens as you lay burdens upon it. That is but an empty purse that is full of other man's money. Prevention is better than cure. What is strength without a double share of wisdom? If a man deceives me once, shame to him. If he deceives me twice, shame to me. A failure only established that our determination to succeed was not strong enough. Give your decision, never your reason. Your decision may be right, your reasons are sure to be wrong. Our mind is like a garden which can neither be intelligently cultivated or be allowed to run wild. Prudence is the knowledge of what is to be sought and what is to be avoided. At times, knowing is vain. A man you say, I do not know. Aha. I have only 2 rules of life: never do anything understand and go to bed at 10. Underhand and go to bed at 10. If you would wish another to keep your secret, first keep it yourself. Nature has given man 1 tongue and 2 ears, that we may hear twice as much as we speak, and intelligent man is the first step to success. It is not best to swap horses while crossing the river. Into the closed mouth the fly does not gate. Travel only with the equals or thy betters, for if there are none, travel alone. God gives you 2 ends, one to sit on and the other to think with. Success depends on which one we use the most. Sher ka bacha. Sher is a lion's only vein. The sun can make killings of his own. If it is not a winning that counts each time, participating is just as important. Mistakes are best teachers. Whatever you believe and conceive, you can achieve. Don't be afraid to ask dumb questions. They are more easily handled than dumb mistakes. When you encounter difficulties and contradictions, do not try to break them, but bend them with gentleness and time. Trust is important but should not be blind. Build your memory bank now before it is too late to make deposits. The way to get along is to go along. If a tree is firm, why should it fear the storm? Identify your weak link and act now. The human mind is like the parachute. It only works when it is open. Better to be alone and face some problems than to live with someone who is the problem. If a man is worth knowing at all, he is worth knowing well. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Open. Your mind is like an acre of land. Look after it. Hard work is like filling. Good reading acts like fertilizer. Discipline is like pesticide. Beautiful. It is difficult to soar with eagles when you work with turkeys. Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and the most important sound in any language. 5 to 5. 5 and 5 can make 55 and 0 as well as 10. Therefore, think and use imagination. If I had 8 hours to chop a tree, I would spend 6 hours sharpening my axe. Judge a man more by his questions than by his answers. The growth of the wisdom can be accurately gauged by the drop of ill temper. The used key is always bright. It's what you learn after you know it all that counts. Big achievements can only be made by a man who is content with small beginnings. It does not make a difference whether you win or lose until you lose. A wise man speaks when others have exhausted their words. If you want to move mountains, you have to first learn how to move particles. Where arguing is of no avail, it is best to be contented. The least important word of the life is I, and the most important word is you. Staying calm is the best way to to take the wind out of an angry man's sails. Never fear shadows. They simply mean that there is a light shining somewhere nearby. By silence, I hear other men's imperfections and conceal my own. All things are difficult before they become easy. At times, knowing is vain. A man can say, I do not know. A man is a hero not because he's a braver than anyone else, but because he's brave for 10 minutes longer. Welcome your elders immediately as they enter, for none brooks being ignored. Beautiful. Your habits and character. Be swift to hear, slow to speak, slower to wrath. What cannot be cured must be endured. The most effective diet consists of 4 words. No more. Thank you. Answer not a fool according to his folly, least thou also be like unto him. He gives twice, that gives quickly, never come unasked, and only go when sent for. I would rather do and not promise than promise and not do. Speaking up without thinking is shooting without taking aim. If you want to be a success, display enough courage to welcome failures. Purchasing new books and reading them are a part of your shopping, which makes you beautiful internally. Do the things you fear and the fear will disappear. To act right and have to look right and feel right. Dare to dream, dare to try, dare to fail, dare to succeed. Dare it. I will speak can we dare you to do a 3-hour concentration? Okay, 3 hour non-stop. Whatever you do, 3 hour with growth mindset. Concentrate and grow. Every day. Work 3 hours concentration. Do not go to sleep until you have had a 3-hour section of concentration. Anything and everything and all that you love, we'll do it. Okay? Fair enough? I will speak ill of no man and speak all the good I know of everybody. Oh, that's a good start. 3 hours, speak bad of no one. Okay? Only good. Unless 3 hours, no TV. 3 hours, mental health break, complete. No talking, no thinking, just doing the best. Intelligence beyond thought. Well enough? Oppose not rage while rage is in its force, but give it way a while and let it waste. One way to keep people from jumping down your throat is to keep your mouth shut. Your mind is like an acre of iron. Acre of land, look after it. Hard work is like tilling. Good reading acts like fertilizer. Discipline is like pesticides. It is true that we learn by listening, yet we do not listen. Whatever the struggle, continue the climb. It may be the only one step to the summit. The good day's work begins with a good night's rest. Homilist collects 1001 and your communication skills will improve. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Always be a front seater. You will start feeling bigger and smarter. Wealth lost, something lost, honor lost, much lost, courage lost, all lost. You can't get an A if you don't do your homework. What needs to be done that I don't want to do, I must do today. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. That's my religion. How do you live a long life? Take a 2-mile walk every morning before breakfast. When I am attacked by gloomy thoughts, nothing helps me so much as running to my books. They quickly absorb me and banish the clouds from my mind. In all the world, there are 2 words more important than thank you. He that has but 4 and spends 5 has no need for a purse. Gift wrap what you have to say or write. People do judge you by the way you will speak. Forgive many things to others, nothing in yourself. The fundamental requirement for success, humility. Take a brisk 30-minute walk each day. It is one of the healthiest things you can do for yourself. A weak mind is like a microscope which magnifies trifling things but cannot receive great ones. Sympathy is never wasted except when you give it to yourself. The lesson of discipline is the knowledge that some things have to be done. They cannot be postponed. Discipline means that right is right and wrong is wrong. If you are wrong, admit it. Beware of him who has nothing to lose. Be insatiably curious. Ask why not a lot. Don't live to eat but eat to live. Don't use SWOT analysis today. The secret of success is conversation is to be able to disagree without being disagreeable, praise in public, reprimand in private. If you can't sleep, get up and work or read until you feel sleepy. Remember that no one can ever kill by lack of sleep. A man is better known by the company he keeps. Happiness doesn't depend on outward conditions. It depends on inner conditions. I will speak ill of no man and speak all the good I know of everybody. At the start of your career, what you learn is more important than what you earn. If you do not know how to speak, better learn how to keep quiet and say sorry at the right moment. Apparel often proclaim a man. Refusing in a kind manner is better than making promises which are not kept. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. The best way to escape from your problem is to solve it. An open ear is the only believable sign of an open heart. Garbage in, garbage out. Negativity in, negativity out. Positivity in, positivity out. Good in, good out. Aha! Your attitude. Unjust criticism is often a disguised compliment. It often means that you have aroused jealousy and envy. A man can succeed at most anything for which he has unlimited enthusiasm. It is better to be beautiful than to be good, but it is better to be good than to be ugly. The road to glory is not strewn with flowers. All great men come out of the middle class. To do nothing is the way to be nothing. An injury is much sooner forgotten than an insult. Life is not having and getting, but it being and becoming. Remember, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. He who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. It isn't necessary to blow out the other person's light to let your own shine. A man who climbs to the peak foot by foot earns far more respect than the one who reaches there by the helicopter. It takes a great deal of elevation of thought to produce a very little elevation of life. He that never changes his opinions never corrects his mistakes and will never be wiser on tomorrow than he is today. The wise makes proverbs and fools repeat them. Men rather honor the sun rising than the sun going down. He that has a secret should not only hide it, but hide that he has it to hide. Think today and speak tomorrow. Can we walk together except they be agreed? Criticism is to make you improve, not to make you quit. A fresh mind keeps the body fresh. Take in the ideas of the days, drain off those of yesterday. Laugh and the world laughs with you, and weep and you weep alone. If nobody loves you, be sure it is your own fault. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. It's better than a man's own works than other man's words should praise him. Poverty is not dishonorable in itself, but only when it comes from idleness, extravagance, and folly. Change your thoughts and change your world. There is so much a thing as a perfect solution. All the great discoveries of the world have been made without good equipment and under great difficulties with nobody to encourage. God helps those who help themselves. Be brave, or at least dare to be brave. Bravery will itself originate in you. If your life is free or failure, you are not taking enough risk. Most creative ideas come from beginners, not the experts. If you look for the positive things in life, you'll find them, and happiness is often caused by comparison. One half of the trouble of this life can be traced to saying yes too quickly and not saying no soon enough. Nothing dies faster than a new idea in a closed mind. There is more to life than increasing in speed. A little pot gets soon hot. Imagination is more important than knowledge. You can preach a better sermon than your life than with your lips. You only live once, but if you live right, once is enough. Majority of people are still under illusion that they would compensate for weakness in studies in the last days of the competition. When you reach for the stars, you may not quite get one, but you won't come up with a handful of mud either. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. If we think happy thoughts, we will be happy. If we think miserable thoughts, we will be miserable. If we think fearful thoughts, we will be fearful. The mind is in its own place, and in itself can make a heaven and hell of heaven. It is ideas that start the money and not money that starts the ideas. It doesn't matter whether we can be proud of your ancestors. What matters, it can be proud of you. They are never alone who are accompanied by noble thoughts. If you would pass for more than your value, say little. It is easier to look wiser than to talk wisely. It is It is he who shows smiling countenance that he who has offers milks to drink. A cheerful face makes for your best credentials. The busy bee has no time for sorrow. If winter comes, can spring be far behind? A stumble may prevent a fall. Second thoughts are best. Those who make the worst use of your time most complain of its shortness. Get rid of great thinking every night while you are trying to sleep. Men may blush to hear what they are not ashamed to do. It is not born a business, one becomes a genius. One is not born a genius, one becomes a genius. Try to forget useless things, to remember everything is to make your mind a disbeing. When all of us think alike, no one is thinking. A change for the better always starts with a change of thinking. Work done in dejection never succeeds. It is futile to desire to win if you have no will to prepare. The great pleasure in life is doing what people say you cannot do. Most people remember only 20% of what they hear. A smile is the universal language which is understood around the world. They talk. Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. There is no disgrace in honest failure. There is disgrace in fearing to fail. Bad news always flies faster than good. A man is not finished when he is defeated. He is finished when he quits. The difference between you and me is only one of hearing. Where you hear a door close, I hear it open. Most people remember only 20% of what they hear. A smile is the universal language which is understood around the world. They talk most who have least to say. Life has no blessing like a prudent friend. Your friends. Be true to your word, your work, and your friend. All friends are best. The only way to have a friend is to be one. Friendship should be a private pleasure, not a public boast. No man is useless until he has a friend. The pleasant companion reduces the length of journey. Life has no blessing like a prudent friend. God send me a friend that will tell me of my faults. A friendless man is like a left hand without right. It is better to lose a new jest than an old friend. An upset friend is like a pressure cooker. If you don't allow it to vent, it will explode. To suspect a friend is worse than to be deceived by him. For it is always fair weather when good fellows get together. The best time to frame an answer to the letters of a friend is the moment you receive them. Misfortunes test friends and reject enemies. The road to a friend's house is never long. A hedge between keeps his friendship green. Books and friends should be few and good. Friends tell you what you have to hear. Others will tell you what you want to hear. He who has good friends has no friends. No need for a mirror. Traveling is the company of those we love in the home in motion. If you would keep a secret from your enemy, tell it not to a friend. If you think your friend is only yours, then it can only be a pet. True friendship is a plant of slow growth and must undergo and withstand the shocks of adversity before it is entitled to the appreciation. When friends are in trouble, don't bother them by asking if there is anything you can do. Think of something appropriate and do it. And if your friend does evil to you, say to him, forgive you for what you did to me. But how can I forgive you for what you did to yourself? We shall never have friends if we expect to find them without fault. Make new friends, but keep the old. Those are silver, these are gold. Two persons cannot long be friends if they cannot forgive each other's little failings. What is a friend? It is a person with whom you dare to be yourself. A friend is someone who knows all about you and loves you just the same. The more prompt you to go to a friend in adversity than in prosperity. Hands play an important role in life. However, some use them for friendship, some only for fighting. God evidently does not intend us all to be rich or powerful or great, but He does intend us all to be friends. A friend is one to whom one may pour out all the contents of one's heart. You can hardly make a friend in a year, but you can lose one in an hour. If all people knew what each said to the other, there would not be four friends in the world. The difficulty is not so great to die for a friend as to find a friend worth dying for. The best way to keep friends is never Borrow from them and never lend them anything. Have your 50 friends, it is not enough. Have you one enemy, it is too much. It is not so much our friends help that helps us as the confidence of their help. The language of friendship is not words but meanings. If you, it is an intelligence about language. Please all and please you, please none. A short letter to a distant friend is an insult like that of a slight bow or a cursory salutation. If we built on a sure foundation of friendship, we must love our friends for their sakes rather than our own. If a man does not take few acquaintances as he advances through life, he will soon find himself left alone. A man should keep his friendship in constant repair. Beautiful. The purpose of your career is to create opportunity. Your opportunity is the trouble with opportunity is that it always comes disguised as hard work. Success occurs when opportunity and preparation meet. There are three things that can never be retrieved: the spoken word past, time past, and neglected opportunity. Learn to listen. Opportunity sometimes knocks very softly. Staff the problems, feed the opportunities. There's always more to learn and earn. Enthusiasm finds opportunities and energy makes the most of them. Great minds must be ready not only to make opportunities but to make them. No man is ever born successful. Success is opportunity best utilized. To be a great man, it is necessary to turn it to account all opportunities. The great opportunity is where you are. Do not despise your place and hour. Every place is under the stars. The follies which a man regrets most in his life are those which he didn't commit when he had the opportunity. There are but two ways of rising in the world, either by one's own industry or profiting by the foolishness of others. Men of talent are men of for occasions. Success doesn't depend upon being at the right place at the right time. It depends upon being ready. When one door shuts, another opens. The world is a world of competition. If you do not get ahead of others, they will get ahead of you. Do not suppose opportunity will knock twice at your door. Every field, big or small, has its importance, even as each finger of the hand encompasses a world of opportunity. A wise man will make more opportunities than he finds. Opportunity is often best by pausing, lost by pausing. Failure is only the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. In this age of remote control, people also expect the doors of opportunity to be opened by the remote control. Doctor, businessman, executive engineer. You cannot be anything if you want to be everything. Your mistakes? They talk most who have the least to say. I cannot do it, never accomplish anything yet. The will to win is worthless if you do not have the will to prepare. Give to the world the best you have, and the best will come back to you. People don't waste time, they just spend it on things they don't need. Abuse is an indirect species of homing. If a man loves to give advice, it is a sure sign that he himself wants it. You can fool some of the people all the time and all the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all the time. A long dispute means that both parties are wrong. Both parties are wrong. You can make a throne of thorns, but you cannot sit on it for long. He that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else. He who accuses too many accuses himself. It is an equal failing to trust everybody and to trust nobody. A man who has no more right to say a rude thing to another than to knock him down. Little things affect little minds. Rashness brings success to few, misfortune to many. Those who quarrel and interpose most often wipe a bloody nose. It's easier to reprehend than to correct. What may be done at any time will be done at no time. A blow with a word strikes deeper than a blow with a sword. It is important for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. The foolish efforts never succeed. There is no greater sorrow than to recall in a misery the time when we were happy. The only complete mistake is a mistake from which we learn nothing. Some persons do first, think afterward, and then repent forever. If you cannot stand solitude, perhaps you bore others too. He that is discontented in one place will certainly be content in another. He is the use of running when we are on the wrong road. During the first period of the man's life, the danger is not to take the risk. Never understand your power to change yourself. Never overestimate your power to change others. Never explain your troubles to anyone. No one is interested in investing time listening to your troubles. and bad habits end with your end. You cannot be anything if you want to be everything. Any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain, and most fools do. Please all and you please none. Trust is like a thin thread. Once you break it, it is almost impossible to put it all together again. The more noise a man or a motor makes, the less power there is available. If you don't know the answer, don't fake it. A great deal of talent is lost to the world for want of a little courage. When nothing helps, do nothing. The easiest person to deceive is the one's own self. The trouble with most of us is that we stop trying to in trying times. Conceit is a quicksand of success. The ability to speak is a shortcut to distinction. Quarreling needs no willpower. He that has but four and spends five has no need of a purse. Don't start something which you cannot stop. When you have nothing important or interesting to say, don't say anything. Persuade to say it. Don't worry over what other people are thinking about you. They are busy worrying over what you are thinking about them. There is no indigestion worse than the which comes from having to eat your own words. Chasing after the impossible, you lose what is possible. Needs can be made, greeds never. Don't discourage the other person's plans unless you have better ones to offer. The difference between pain and success is doing a thing nearly right and doing it right, exactly right.